What up, boxing world? JF Sports. Let's talk about Golovkin versus Lemieux's press conference and first official face-off. Now, this is going to be a quick review of mine. First off, what I noticed was that it was a good opening, sorta, from Bernard Hopkins. How he talked about him coming up to the middleweight division, how he moved up to lightweight division, and pretty much his journey in the middleweight division. Bernard Hopkins is always a good talker. He's always a good speaker, and it does entice people to listen to him, and make the best out of all situations, right? Bernard Hopkins has done it all, and like I said, he was a good sort of booster for the Golovkin versus Lemieux fight. Now let's jump on to Lemieux. Lemieux was very straightforward, candid, sorta, in my own opinion. I mean, yes, he did smile as soon as he got in the podium and started speaking his piece. I thought that David Lemieux did very well, introducing himself, being thankful to everybody, especially put special emphasis on thanking the Grand Garden Arena. He said that this was his biggest fight, his big fight coming up. Talked about how he comes up from, being a 9-10-year-old boy, smoking cigarettes, to now filling up the whole stadium, being center of the stage, center of attention, attraction, you name it. He's very glad and very, very thankful. Like I said, it was a good speech overall. There was two things that caught my eye, to be honest with you, or caught my attention in the whole Golovkin versus Lemieux, and that was two things that came out of Lemieux's mouth. First off, when he said, "I'm not here to be Golovkin's friend." He was somewhat smiling when he said that, but I thought he was very candid and straightforward. He meant business when he said that. And the second thing that he said, "There will be blood." I like that. I liked it a lot. So, I mean, if you guys didn't see my first initial look of the Golovkin versus Lemieux fight, I made a video of it, somewhat of a review, and somewhat of a criticism review. I'm still not fully convinced. I'm still not buying it. However, after the press conference yesterday, I somewhat have doubts that this fight is going to be explosive. Somewhat. Not fully convinced, but somewhat. I see David Lemieux giving his best. Alright? Just to be fair, I see him giving his best, giving all he's got to this fight. He's got nothing but to gain. He's not undefeated. He's fighting a guy that's undefeated, a bigger guy, solid guy, and not to mention, a very humble person. So that it's hard to kind of beat somebody that's very humble and undefeated and a champ, because he has everything to gain, and you have pretty much got to take that away from him. Now, like I said, I thought Lemieux was honest. That deep down inside, he really wants to win this fight. When he said, "Be ready for change in pattern," so to speak, I thought he meant, to be honest with you guys, I think what he meant was he's gonna beat Golovkin. Well, what opponent doesn't really think that they're gonna beat the other opponent, right? Simple. It was an overall good piece for Lemieux. I thought so. I give him the props. And again, advanced congratulations to Lemieux for getting this fight. let's go to Golovkin. Golovkin, as you guys know, doesn't speak very much, nor does he speak English very well. He's gotten a lot better. All right, he's gotten a lot better from the first time we've seen him before. He can actually flow his English now than before. He could actually, conversate, and you can pretty much understand, not everything, but you can kind of get an idea of what he's talking about, or what he's saying. Golovkin, this is a person that you cannot underestimate. He smiles, he laughs, he waves at crowds like a little boy, but his attitude changes when it's time for face-off, and not to mention fight night. Golovkin is a very nice guy, you can tell, and he is loved by his country and also a lot of fans in the US and around the world. Overall, the tone, the atmosphere of the whole press conference, I will give it a B+. And the reason for that is it was sort of a normal press conference. It was almost a monotone with a venom, if that makes sense. I thought that the whole press conference was very friendly, but we all still, at the end of the day, we all still have our dog in a fight. Like I said, Golovkin said his piece. Nothing unusual, nothing out of ordinary. He said the same thing basically every time he's at press conferences, especially big ones. He congratulates everybody. He shake his opponent's hand just like how he shook Lemieux's hand, like they were friends that hasn't seen each other in a long time, if you guys know what I'm talking about. He grabs the hand firmly together with his other hand, and like I said, Golovkin's handshakes to me are very, very friendly, and it seems like he's shaking a hand of a friend that he hasn't seen for a long time, which is very, very nice of him. Very kind, nothing negative, no criticism, nothing bad to say about that. I like the whole press conference. It wasn't necessarily a hyped up press conference, so to speak, a wild and out type like Adrian Broner or Ricardo Mayorga's press conferences. Nothing like that. Even though I prefer a little bit, not so much, because I'm not an advocate of, like I said, brutalities and being personal and violence and all that stuff, right? Even though we like the sport of boxing. But you guys get my piece. Overall, in my whole opinion, I still think that Golovkin will school Lemieux. But that's just my opinion. I was actually surprised how Golovkin, when he stood up in front of Lemieux, how he was much bigger than Lemieux. I didn't know he's that bigger because he's wearing, I guess sometimes when you wear clothes, it makes you look slimmer, smaller, something like that, because he was just wearing a t-shirt with a collar, and Lemieux, on the other hand, was wearing a suit. I just don't see it, people. I have to be proven wrong. Like I said, I am not perfect. And so does a lot of fans. We are all not perfect, but at the end of the day, we all have our dogs in the fight. I don't think Lemieux is ready for Golovkin, to be honest with you. If there's one person, in my opinion, that is going to beat Lemieux, it's going to beat Golovkin, it's not going to be Lemieux, not in October. I just don't see it, people. I really don't see it. Yes, I'm going to get criticized, and heavily probably. Bad talk, bad mouth about this review, but I just don't see it. I like Lemieux, he's a nice guy. He means well. He's here for business. Like what he said, he's not here to be Golovkin's friend or anything like that. But bros, I just don't see it. But congratulations to both fighters. I wish Lemieux and Golovkin the best of luck comes October. We're gonna have more controversies and more topics as we get closer to the fight. But I just, it's really, really sucks when I can't I just can't give Lemieux all the credit in the world how other people give him credit for. I give him the credit for fighting. I give him the credit for being courageous to take this fight and having the motivation and the attitude, and not to mention the humbleness and sportsmanship already showing. When he said that this fight is going to be explosive, I was skeptical. I was very skeptical about that. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope they give us a good fight. And like I said, I wish both of them the best of luck. And overall, my review of the whole press conference and the first official stare down, face off, is a B+. Let me know what you guys think. Drop me a comment. Please like, comment, and subscribe. JF Sports. Thanks for watching.